live in the reality because this is it. Every day, you wake up, is this my life? Don't stay in denial, because yes, it is. Don't stay in bargaining, where you're praying for a miracle, and if it wouldn't have happened, then this is what I would have done. It did.
Our panel participants kept it real. Really real.
I think, number one, it's amazing to me how we ignore systemic racism in our community, and as a people, we've apologized for so much, but when will we stop apologizing for what we have paid for? Because the truth of the matter is, we paid for this.
You can always count on KBLA Talk 1580 to give it to you straight, no chaser. When you love folk, you tell them the truth. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
ఇంత ప్రేమను పెంచి
With all the love,
ఇన్ని విధాలు మీకు ఇది చేసినప్పుడు
giving you all
ఈ
help,
కృతజ్ఞత రక్తంలో ప్రతి బొట్టు లోపల కూడా నిలిచిపోవాలి.
every drop of blood should be full of gratitude.
మొన్న చిన్న ఉదాహరణ,
A small example.
లైన్ డాన్స్ నేర్పించాలని
To train students in this line dance,
వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్
the Vice Chancellor,
ఎవరు సింగపూర్కు ఫోన్ చేశాడు.
he just rang up to Singapore.
ఒక ట్రైనర్ని ఇక్కడ పంపించండి.
A trainer is brought all the way.
వచ్చాడు.
And he came here, trainer.
వచ్చేటప్పటికి వీళ్ళు ఎవరు ఏమి విచారించలేదు.
The boys were not ready.
ఈనాటి చదువులు ఎట్లా ఉన్నాయంటే,
And how the present position?
కామన్ సెన్స్ జనరల్ నాలెడ్జ్ జీరో.
The common sense, general knowledge are a big zero today.
కానీ పాఠాల లోపల మాత్రం మంచి హీరోస్.
But in academic excellence, they are heroes.
అడిగిన ప్రశ్నకంతా జవాబు చెప్తారు.
And they'll reply any question you put.
దాంట్లో హీరోలు, కానీ ఈ జనరల్ నాలెడ్జ్ జీరో.
But in general knowledge, you are a
ఏం
zero.
చేయాలి వారికి అనేటువంటి తెలియదు.
They don't know what is to be done.
అప్పుడు నిన్న నేను వార్డెన్ పిలిచి,
Bhagavan asked the warden. He asked him, warden,
అందరినీ పిలిపించావు.
you brought
కానీ
everyone.
మనం సంతోషించాం.
You are happy.
పిల్లలు సంతోషించారు.
Boys are happy.
కానీ అతన్ని కూడా సంతోష పెట్టాలి.
And you should make the trainer also
కాబట్టి
happy.
ఏం చేసేయాలి?
Then what is it to be done?
ఏమి తెలియదు స్వామి అన్నాడు.
The warden said, I don't know.
పిచ్చివాడా, ఇంతటితో పోకూడదు.
You should not stop.
ప్రతి పిల్లవాడి యొక్క విషయం కూడాను, ప్రతి ట్రైనర్ యొక్క విషయం కూడాను స్వామి స్వయంగా చూస్తూ వచ్చాడు.
Swami attends personally on every student, every trainer.
మీరు అనుకుంటారు స్వామి ఎక్కడో ఉన్నాడే, దీనికి తెలియదులే అనుకుంటారు.
You think Swami moves about, he doesn't know these
కానీ
things.
ఇక్కడ అక్కడ ఎక్కడ చూసినా ఒక్కడే ఆత్మలో వక్కువై ఉన్నాడు.
And even if you don't understand what he's saying, I know what he's saying, and I'll translate. He's really saying, even though he has a translator, you can hear the words. But again, so many of us are put off by the mistakes we make. So many of us are put off by the pain that was caused to us early on in life, that we lose the necessary resilience to keep going, to focus. We think we're abandoned by God. Why? Because we were abandoned by our parents. They were our first gods, right? But the reality of it is, God can't abandon himself. And you have always been a part of God. When God is abandoned in you, it's only because you've lost sight of him in you. Maybe you were never taught that God is in you, through and through, right? In you, in every aspect of you, even the shadow side. Maybe you weren't educated that way, and you have to be reconditioned in order to experience another level of freedom. Do you see? It's not your partner's responsibility to have these types of discussions and inner inquiries. It's on you to prepare yourself to receive something that appears to be an illusion. We were taught love is getting what you want. Love is satisfaction. Love is happiness. Love is joy. And then we're blindsided when love shows up and it's hurtful, it's painful, it's betrayal, it's disrespect, it's condescension. And you say, well, wait a minute. Zoe, you said love is unconditional freedom. Love is synonymous with God. What are you saying now? What I'm saying is, oftentimes, how we define love is limiting. Love itself transcends polar opposites, duality. You've heard me say it before in many shows. Many of us have misinterpreted attachment as love. We're calling it love, but we haven't done the work to actually achieve unconditional love. We are bound by the patterns that raised us. How are you going to experience unconditional love and you're still bound? Do you see? That's why love is equated with satiation. This person satiates me, so they must love me. That's not love. Love is beyond that. Well beyond it. And because it's not as tangible as you would like it to be, you chalk it up as, oh, that's unrealistic. Or you say love is these attachment wounds, right? And if somebody loved you, they wouldn't hurt you. No, wounded people hurt other wounded people. They hurt heal people. Do you understand? Like, this is what happens when you haven't dealt with dukkha. That's the Buddhist term, dukkha, suffering. So many people are so happy when they find their person because their person becomes their crutch. Their person becomes their excuse. Your person is not your reparenting partner. They have their own responsibility to reparent, to recontextualize. They're not here to do your reparenting work, but through unrealistic expectations, we put that on them. Let me get my brother back in here, John from Mountain View, Hawaii. He was cooking on the fish bowl. He was talking about an aquarium. I want to know. Talk to me.
Well, again, to the aquarium, you act as though you're not still in a space where something has to feed you, control you, or give you light, which again is in the water.
Keep going.
But nonetheless, let's take it back to the beard because, truthfully speaking, you're going to look homeless for the next 2 weeks.
Homeless. I love it, brother. For the next 2 weeks.
But unfortunately, this is part of the process. For your luscious beard to grow, you must allow it to doggone do what it do. Yes, it itches. Yes, it's uncontrollable. Yes, you hate going through that part. But I guarantee you this. If you understand your follicles is having to go through the tests and trials of taking the moisture out so it can show that it can grow.
I agree with you. I got to go through the fire of beard growth. I hear you. Where's Shaka Khan when you need her? Through the fire. Where's she at? No, but I agree.
But all of these are the same processes and virtually the same measure of earning this thing we call love. Because, again, you do earn it.
Yes. Yes.
You earn it through going through these processes.
Right.
You earn it by the way of showing that once you finally get it, now you have it to give, and who's going to be the first victim?
Ooh, I love that, brother. I love that. Guess what you just did, my friend, my partner, my brother, my partner in crime, Passer. Guess what you just did?
Mountain View is in the house. Love you, brother.
Love you, man. Love you, man.
It is what it is.
Thank you. Hey, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. This is good stuff tonight. This is good stuff tonight. So many of us play too many games. You want to mimic social standards and let me strategize and organize your life, because that's what a good woman does. We're going on trips and oh yes, and we're doing this and we're doing. Listen, a lot of doing, not enough being. Who are you when there's nothing to do? Are you doing because you're anxious in the presence of your shadow? Are you doing because you're trying to escape the dark chasm that you have thrown every opportunity to really love yourself down? You got to keep doing. You got to keep going, because you know if you stop, you're going to be waiting on you. The part of you that you loathe, the part of you that you don't love. While at the same time, I mean, aren't we looking for congruence? Isn't that individuation? We want congruence, huh? How is it that you've made excuses for the brokenness of your parents, but because they got you to high school and they got you to college and they got you to your first career, they did the best they could do, and I won't even look at any of the things that I modeled. I'm going to love them despite that. Do you love them? Really? Or are you afraid to hurt them by telling the truth to yourself? Do you have to go to them and tell them what you've discovered? They've got their own journey. What about yours? Oftentimes we want to go talk to mama. We want an explanation from mama. Sometimes you don't need that explanation from mama. Sometimes you coming to the aha moment of, I got that from mama, is not for mama. Might just be for you. Do you understand? We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. Attila, Houston, Texas. What are your thoughts?
Tio, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You're on the line. What are your thoughts?
First of all, this topic's fire. Okay. So there's this saying, I don't know if you've heard it. I recently heard it. Someone said, if you think you're healed, go home.
Ooh.
Yay.
If you think you're healed, go home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what I did. I went home. I went home. I went home. And I will say this. I think the more aware of yourself you become, the more you see your own faux pas, and the more you can tell whether or not you are in your authentic self, or if you're in your maybe more pleasant, pleasing role that maybe your parents have had you play self, if that makes sense. And
but
something that kind of...
You just said something that was powerful here, and I want you to hold that thought because I know it's a good one. But what if you go home and you're performative at home? What if you're masked?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, talk to me.
Yeah. I mean, like, what I felt this weekend, I did feel the urge at times to perform. And I think what I found is that the anxiety that normally would mount up that would continue the performance has lowered and has lessened a lot for me, because I realized, like, I don't need to. The real truth is that I have a reality or a life outside of my family and outside of my parents, because I live 4 hours away from them, and that's okay. It's okay. That does not make me any less me, and I can bring parts of that home. And even if they're not accepted, it's still part of me. Period. And so I think in terms of being performative at home, I mean, that's the biggest test. If you feel the urge to perform and you go forward with it, and more importantly, you keep it up to the point that you no longer want to be at home, maybe you're not as healed as you think you are. If I can sit in the discomfort of someone trying to pressure me to be something that I'm not, or be something that is more palatable to them, and I can sit and breathe through that and say, no, I am who I am. I love who I am, and I'm actually going to continue to be that, even if they don't like it. Maybe you good. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you done a little bit of work, but I think that I could definitely feel that tug, and I could feel those wounds of, like, maybe wanting to be heard or wanting to be seen a certain way. And I'm like, okay, I see I still have room work I need to do in this area. So again, if you're healed, it says if you think you're healed, go home.
Go home.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Lord, this reminds me of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. Many of us go home and we're exactly the same as we were when we left.
You go straight into that role, straight into whatever it was you were doing before you left home, because what I think of it as like a muscle. It's like a muscle going right back into that same position, right? And so there's a certain level of comfort in that. But again, like I said, if you really are trying to do your work, or you really are trying to kind of move past that, and you want to see your parents, you know what I'm saying, like move past whatever their issues are, whatever the case may be, like you have to kind of sit in the discomfort. And something else that I found too, I really love celebrating my mother this weekend because it was really good to just see her be loved. That was something that I think I was always kind of worried about as a child. And so to kind of see that come full circle, it really, I don't know, it just made me so happy to see. And I was like, dang, like, this is really good. And I felt good celebrating her too. And I knew I was like, okay, I feel like I let go of the pain, the anxiety, the angst, the whatever anger or just, resentment that I had before. And it just let me know, like, my mom is a woman. Yes, she is my mother, but she's also a woman with her own reality, her own needs, her own agendas and friends and whatnot. So again, it was a really good experience. And I'm hoping to have more experiences like that.
Man, I'm so happy because I was waiting for the conversation about how it went. But I'm just so happy that it turned out great for you, niece. Listen, guess what you just did?
I brought Houston in the building.
Houston, Texas is in the house. If you want to bring your city in the building, you know the deal. All you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580 when we come forward. More from the phone lines.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Johns Hopkins University has found that just mild hearing loss doubles your risk of dementia, so hearing loss isn't something to ignore.
But hearing aids are so expensive and ugly.
Not anymore. Meet Audion Hearing. You can get nearly invisible hearing aids without a prescription starting at $98 a pair, and they're ready to use right out of the box. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, and with over 1 million customers, Audion is easy to trust. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
We have super high expectations. We want everything. We want a partner to be an entire community. My best friend, my trusted confidant, my passionate lover, my intellectual equal, my co-parent. And on top of it, I want with you to deal with all the vicissitudes of the everyday life and all of what we need to get to, all of that. And then we should also be passionate, great lovers. You don't ask one person to give you what a whole village should actually give you. Now, what does it mean to find the right person? And there I will say, the simplest way of looking at it is this. There are many people you will love, and they are not necessarily the same people that you will make a life with. Are you looking for a love story?
Man, it takes a village to raise a kid. So you shouldn't expect your significant other to do the work by themselves, to continue the work. If you come out of that household with a wounded inner child, and you expect your partner to be a Swiss Army knife, be able to do everything, you're performative at work, you're performative in your friend circle, you're performative with family, and then you expect them to make up the slack? Come on. And it's their fault if the relationship don't work. Really? 1-800-920-1580. Most people are not equipped to deal with the humanity of another because they haven't dealt with the humanity of themselves. What does that mean? Yes, human beings are going to let you down. Human beings are not always going to be able to show up in the way that you need them to. They're not always going to have the capacity. Guess what? It's a rat race to keep all of your subscriptions paid. Where do you find the time for self-realization, for self-actualization? Don't you know do you know what relationship is really supposed to be for you and your partner once healed? It's supposed to be moksha. It's supposed to be nirvana. It's supposed to be self-realization at the highest level. It's supposed to be the physical embodiment, right, of namaste. It's supposed to be that. But typically, it's about managing expectations, desires, and outcomes, because wounds are insatiable. They have an insatiable appetite for stimulation. Stimulation means we're doing well. We're still stimulated. What's the next stimulating thing we're going to do? I know you don't want to hear it put that way. And say, no, I like to be by myself. Yeah, I believe it. We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. Old school, legendary caller. Haven't heard from this brother in a minute, but we are absolutely thrilled to welcome him back into the Voice of Reason fold. He has lost no credits. He comes in at the same rank he left. That's OG Truth Teller. What up, Sean from Oakland, California? What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Brother, thank you. First of all, this is exactly my call. You were so kind to be, doing that intro with me. My thing is this, people, is that, everything we're going through, and there's going to be a lot we're going to be going through, and I can guarantee you we're going to be going through it. Check in with everybody that you care about. Check in with everybody. Check in. They may not want you to check in, but check in with them, because that's the example you want to set, going forward. You want to make sure that people know that I care about you and I understand you maybe everything's great or everything's not great, but just that I'm there for you if you need me. And I think everything you're talking about, that's what I'm talking about. Because, as we are right now, we may not be in a good place. And we may be in a good place, but I don't like speculating. So I'm saying, take care of your brothers and sisters all throughout anybody you're talking with. And make sure to check in with them and say, hey, I'm here with you in case anything happens.
Right. Man, I love that. Sean, I love that, brother. And like I said, everybody in the chat room are so happy to hear your voice. You're part of the Voice of Reason family, brother, from here on out. And regardless, man, we're always good. We love you. And guess what you just did?
Brother, my mother, who just passed peacefully, would say to everyone, we brought the world into the building.
Thank you, brother. We love you, man. Thank you, and peace to your family during this difficult time. Nothing but love. Sean from Oakland, California. Call in anytime when I come forward. I'm going to Pensacola, Florida.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black New York Attorney General Letitia James is suing to stop the Trump administration from dismantling the Health and Human Services Department.
And since taking office, this administration has fired scientists, closed labs, shuttered life-saving programs without rhyme, reason, or any legal authority.
Joined by 19 other attorneys general, she called the mass firings illegal and harmful to vulnerable groups. Rapper Jeezy could face jail time for not following his divorce agreement with Jeannie Mai. A judge says he did not turn over a 2021 Range Rover and warned that further noncompliance may result in incarceration. And a white New York correctional officer has pleaded guilty to felony manslaughter in the death of Robert Brooks, a 43-year-old black inmate. Christopher Walrath is set to get 15 years for the brutal 2023 beating at Marcy Correctional. He's one of 6 officers charged. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Are you sick of drying, chlorinated water in your home? At LifeSource, they believe your health, your skin, and your hair deserve better. Enjoy delicious, clean water from every tap with a LifeSource water system. Call 1-800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com.
If you missed our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall, the Altadena Eden Fire, 100 Days and Counting, you missed an evening of reverence, reflection, and reality.
You gotta live in the reality because this is it. Every day. You wake up, is this my life? Don't stay in denial, because yes, it is. Don't stay in bargaining, where you're praying for a miracle, and if it wouldn't have happened, then this is what I would have done. It did.
Our panel participants kept it real. Really real.
I think, number one, it's amazing to me how we ignore systemic racism in our community, and as a people, we've apologized for so much, but when will we stop apologizing for what we have paid for? Because the truth of the matter is we paid for this.
You can always count on KBLA Talk 1580 to give it to you straight, no chaser. When you love folk, you tell them the truth. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Johns Hopkins University has found that just mild hearing loss doubles your risk of dementia, so hearing loss isn't something to ignore.
But hearing aids are so expensive and ugly.
Not anymore. Meet Audion Hearing. You can get nearly invisible hearing aids without a prescription starting at $98 a pair, and they're ready to use right out of the box. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, and with over 1 million customers, Audion is easy to trust. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The Comedy Connection series featuring KBLA's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're going to transform relationship disasters into stand-up material live at Inglewood's Miracle Theater on May 31st at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My clinical team will disclose all of your dating woes, while the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady, has hand-selected, supremely talented comedians to roast all of our tragic relationship choices. I dare you to bring your ex's phone number, because Ray, he's going to text it live, and the crowd will be sourcing emojis. Tickets are moving swiftly, so don't hesitate to grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before I diagnose your dating history as a pre-existing condition.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
And I just wanna love you back. 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 And I just wanna love you back.
It is most likely that my parents will die before I will. And at present, it doesn't look like we have any way of reconciling or reconnecting on any level. And so I think about what happens when they pass, what happens when they die. Well, I think there are a few things. I won't lose companionship from them, because I haven't had that really ever in my life, and definitely for a long time in my adult life. I haven't had a positive relationship that I will miss, or that I will, I will mourn. And actually, talking of mourning, that's really what I've been doing through the estrangement process, is mourning the loss of the hope that I will ever have a relationship with them, have the relationship that I want.
So what if we look at mom and dad as a program, a necessary program in the motherboard of our spirit? And if that program is faulty, outdated, how do we then take our relationship desires and expectations into a healthy relational environment? Again, relationship is the mirror of what is in you. This is how all relationships are conflictual. If you were raised in a household that didn't deal with conflict well, was avoidant towards conflict, or made you an avoidant, where you see all conflict as a personal attack, relationships are conflictual by nature. What if this conflict, unresolved, right, sits in your spirit, and you got to walk that into an adult relationship? How are you going to process when you get triggered? Right? Very interesting stuff tonight. Pensacola, Florida. One of my favorites is in the building. Legendary Nzinga. What up, Nzinga?
Hey, good evening. Hey, good evening, though.
Good evening. Good
I'm
evening.
gonna be quick. Okay, so over the years, you've instilled in us that it's not our significant other's responsibility to be the parent that we needed.
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's not their responsibility to pick up that baton where the parents dropped.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could partly be, I know maybe it's a misinterpretation of that scripture, you know, when you leave your mom and dad, you cleave to your wife. Maybe it's a misinterpretation of that possibly. But I'm like, when you were talking earlier, adoption came into mind.
Ooh, go ahead.
It's almost like, you know, when you go to mixers or day parties, that's like private adoption, where you get to touch and see the children and meet them and talk to them and decide if you want to take them home. And then you have the apps. Those are like state-run agencies, if you will. You know, you got pictures, you got profiles. And just like an adoption agency, you can eventually meet them and take them home. But sometimes you take them home and it turns into like, you know, when you take them to the forever home, it turns into like that situation like The Orphan, that scary movie with that little girl.
It turns into a problem sometimes. Yes, keep going.
Yeah,
I'm listening.
You got a psycho. You know, you got a psycho on your hand. And between me and you, sometimes I've been the psycho.
Ooh.
So
Come with the truth. Come on. This is no judgment zone. Come on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Just like playing. Oh, Andy on the keys, as always. Thank you, Andy. But, you know, I think the hardest thing in my self, you know, therapy and, you know, going to it, I think the hardest thing for me is I've had to come to grips with, you know, I have to create my own foundation, my own environment. You know, I'm responsible for the safety and the softness. You know, that's something that I create, you know, and, you know, I'm getting more comfortable with that every day.
Right.
And I realized that it was a lot to put on men. From my point of view, it's a lot to put on men, even the ones who are willing to do it, because that can even turn easily into like an ungrateful manipulation type of situation if you're not careful. And I think men are going through their own emotional epochs, but on a corporate level. And so, you know, we have to give that space as well.
Right.
Because I think women kind of, we adopted the patriarchy a little bit.
Ooh, go ahead. What you on right now? What? Wait a minute.
Well,
hold on.
We had to navigate it.
Wait,
we had to.
Wait, hold on.
We had to navigate it.
Hold
you
on.
understand what I'm saying?
Hold on. Give me a. Where's the Price is Right? Come on, man. Nzinga from Pensacola, Florida. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Voice of Reason. Come on.
No,
What?
I don't believe in, you know, betraying my sisters. Men think that women don't have accountability. It's not that we don't have accountability. It's just not going to be like the Tootsies and the Hootsies trial in front of everybody. It's more of a private thing, like it normally is. Girl, what you got going on? Or sometimes we call each other expletives. You know, some of us do. But, you know, it's more like, what you got going on? I thought you gonna forgive him. Are you gonna stay? You know, so we do, but it's just not some public trial. It's not a, you know, a public beating. You know, it's normally, you know, one-on-one, and it's done with compassion, you know. So, but we, you know, I do think that in order to navigate this world, you have to adopt some of the traits of the patriarchy. In order to navigate, in order to be successful, sometimes you have to. But now I'm learning that I don't, you know, I rest in my femininity. You know, you have to have a little bit of masculine to get the stuff done. But for the most part, you don't have to operate in that. And so, you know, I think that's the realization that women are coming to as well, but we have to create that self-life for ourselves. It's not anybody else's responsibility.
Ooh, well, let me just say this, man. You know, I love it when you take the gloves off Boy, when Nzinga want to take the gloves off, she take the gloves off, man. Andy in here, he back there running back and forth, looking at the camera. He looking at me. Andy, she on fire. Ain't nothing I can do about it. Nzinga, guess what you just did?
I brought Pepsico in the building. Thank you for letting me do so. Good night.
Yeah. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Listen, when we come forward, if you think I'm done cooking this topic, you absolutely wrong.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
During this time, it's important for everyone to know your rights. The 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments in the U.S. Constitution protects every one of us, regardless of immigration status. The 4th Amendment requires a judicial warrant to search your home. The 5th protects your right to remain silent, and the 6th gives you the right to an attorney. Just remember,
No warrant, no key. My privacy. You don't have to speak. No lawyer inside. Don't say a thing. Yeah, we all got rights.
Hey, we all got rights.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
That's what the communists are doing. That's what the socialists are doing. That's what the Democrats are doing. They are hoping by changing the outer, they're going to change the inner structure, nature of human beings. But we are saying the contrary. That's the understanding the depth of life, the beauty, the goodness, and so on. Inwardly, to understand by watching in our relationship what we are and penetrating deeper and deeper without analysis. It becomes very difficult. I won't go into all that. Analysis, briefly, analysis implies the analyzer. Is the analyzer different from that which is analyzing? Of course not. You follow? The analyzer is part of thought. And the analyzed is also part of thought. So he's playing a game with himself all the time. So we are saying that requires much, that's not the point for the moment. We are saying the analyzer is the analyzed, the observer, the one who witnesses is the observer.
Man, Krishna Hurti. He's right. Again, I'm so sick of people, oh, it's too deep. Man, relationships ain't that complicated. Yes, they are. They're spiritual machines, time machines. You can go anywhere in time, especially now. Many of us choose to go to the most visited destination, the past, and then the most coveted destination, the future, skipping and bypassing the most powerful portion of time, the now. Right? The now is new. That which is unconditional is new. That which is from the past is old. That which is from the future never arrives, so it's non-existent. Do you see? The most magical part of time is right now. We got callers on the line. Let me get them in here. Now's the time to be your best self. Now's the time to start your healing journey. Now's the time to embrace yourself, love yourself, approve of yourself. Cali Soul, Denver, Colorado. Get in here. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
I'm really enjoying the topic, and I have a question for you.
Yes.
If I hear what you're saying with our partners, it is not their jobs to do our healing work. It is our job as individuals to do our healing work. But I have questions about affirmation because people are motivated by affirmation. So, like, what does the balance look like in regards to relationships?
So you're ready for tomorrow's topic, validation versus words of affirmation. Because many people will try to use the affirmation as the back door into validation, which is what the wound wants. You see, many people try to backdoor you to get you to validate them, which is what they've always wanted, which is what the wound wants. That's tomorrow's topic.
Yes.
Affirmation versus validation. See, a validating partner is, don't worry, you're going to fall a bunch more times. But guess what? Every time you fall, I'm going to be right here to offer you a hand to get up. And we're going to walk through it. I'm going to encourage you through every fall.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to walk through this together. Now, I'm walking beside you in a companionate fashion because I know I can't carry what you're carrying. We did that last week with the cross. It's not my cross to bear, but that doesn't mean I abandon you when you carry your cross. But many of us cross the wires between words of affirmation and validation.
All right.
You see? Come on, Callie. I know your spirit is in tune. You already know what we own. Callie, guess what you just did?
Tomorrow, then.
Hey, I see you tomorrow.
Denver in the building.
You brought Denver in the building. We love Cali Soul. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me. 1-800-920-1580. Nothing but love from Denver, Colorado. Let's bounce to Mountain View, Hawaii. John done got back in here. John, what are your thoughts?
Just briefly. We're having a discussion in the chat, and I thought this was pertinent to what is going on here. There's a simple fact that someone can easily give you the purpose that they have in their life to you, and you could see it as something that's against you.
An attack, right?
I mean, when somebody actually is helping you out in your situation, being the parent or helping you through whatever they claim is a lovable way, and you still don't want to see the revelation of you.
Well, hold on, John. It's not they don't want to, because typically it's still coming from childhood. If you're offering help and they never got help from a healthy parent, help looks like a threat because it's not normal. It's not a part of their norm. That's just like a kid who had a parent that was not attuned to their emotional needs. They were stoic. They were emotionless, even though they provided the everyday needs. They didn't give. They didn't open up. So what happens is when they attract a person who opens up, that is foreign. It feels like an attack. It's like, oh my God, get back. I've never had this. I don't know how to act when I get it.
We understand the above, but we can also state with sincerity and with truth. The woman who chooses the thug continuously and finds the healed man a threat, check fire.
It don't even have to be a thug. You know what it could be? It could be a simp. It could be a good dude.
It could be a good dude.
It could be a good dude. It could be a performer. Do you understand? Listen.
I understand all of the above. It's just there's so many different dynamics that this could be seen from. I'm just trying to point out a few.
And I love it. Listen, when you're wounded, I'm gonna say it this way. Do you know the wound has a grocery list?
Not even a grocery list, man. Come on.
Do you
Not
hear
even.
Huh?
Yeah, I hear you.
The wound done sat down and said, I like this, and if you do this, and then, they tailor making this as they meet somebody that kind of fits this, and then if they can get away with everything on the list, come on.
So again, you need your wounds bespoke. Is that what you're asking me?
Bespoke wounding. Come on. Tailor made. Hey, you did it again. You brought Mountain View in the building. We appreciate it. Let me run over here. Listen, Jerry from Beverly Hills. I only got 10 seconds. I don't know if he could say what he needs to say in 10 seconds, but I want to get him in here.
Oh, well, is it being too forward if you say to someone you just met, I love you?
Yeah, that might be a little. Yeah, that's a little too forward. You can't just say it off the rip. Hold it. You might really love them, but hold it for a minute. Jerry, we love you. You just brought Beverly Hills in the building. Listen. The voice of reason starts the conversation. It is not a prerequisite that you agree with anything I say, but I just would like for you to continue the conversation. This is Monday, but guess what? It's going to be a whole week full of Monday slappers, so get ready, buckle up. Voice of Reason all week long, and don't forget, go to themiracleinglewood.com and buy your tickets for my Relationship Roundtable May 31st, 7 p.m., the Miracle Theater. You know what it is.
You come to my rescue once again, like that. You always answer calls when I call. You come, you always answer my
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump plans to hold a big military parade in Washington, D.C. Trump was asked by NBC's Meet the Press about the